Hey Ross World, my money makes money. Have you guys ever heard about dollar cost averaging or DCA? It's an investment technique of buying a fixed dollar amount of a certain investment on a regular schedule, regardless of the share price. Now, this is a great way to invest without actually watching the market each and every day. Because sometimes a lot of us are truly busy and watching the market, waiting for prices of stock to drop. You just want to invest in some solid stocks that you picked out and you've done your research. And sometimes you're waiting for the stock maybe to dwindle a little bit so you can get in and buy a couple and then make some profit off of that. So this is a great way to get in automatically and on a schedule based upon share price. Now, what I like about dollar cost averaging is you pick a particular stock, and I'm only going to use one for an example. You pick a particular stock, and when that stock drops at a particular price, you will automatically buy a certain amount of stock. You will buy more at a certain price than you would when that particular stock price rises. You will buy few. So basically, you will buy more shares at a lower price and less shares at a higher price. And so this is kind of built on the premise that you will lower your expenses of buying a stock over a given time by buying stocks at a lower price point than at a higher price point, thus increasing your return. Now, I just want to put this out there. This doesn't mean that you won't lose money on your investment because, of course, this has nothing to do with the actual stock doing bad or good. So please understand that this is based upon you buying that stock. It has nothing to do with the performance of the stock. Now, this is meant for us to invest over time instead of saying I'm gonna drop 1,000 on AT&T. This is meant for you to probably over time to buy 1,000 shares of AT&T, but buying most of those shares at the lowest price of AT&T and buying less at a higher price of AT&T, because we know that the stock market throughout the day, those prices drop and those prices rise. Here's an example. You invest in a particular stock. Let's keep using AT&T, and I believe their symbol or their code or their ticker is T. So let's say, for instance, you invest in AT&T for 4 months, January, February, March, and April, and you invest $200 per month. So that first month, the AT&T stock is $50. So you would buy 4 because you have this on automatic, okay? Dollar cost averaging. You're going to buy 4 at $50. That equals $200. For February, the stock price dropped down to $40. So now you bought 5 of those stock. And for March and April, the stock price dropped down to $25, in which you bought 8 stocks for March and 8 stocks for April, which equals $200 for those 2 months. Now, when you do your math for those 4 months, right? 2, 4, 6, 8. Now, when you tie it all up, you take the amount of shares that you bought through those 4 months, which is 25, okay? Don't forget you bought 4 in January, 5 in February, then 8 in March and April because the prices dropped. So 25 divided by 800 is 32. So the average cost of all your stocks was $32. Now, if you would have bought that in January, that lump sum at $50, first of all, you only would have bought 16 stocks, not 25. So by using dollar cost averaging, you bought an additional 9 stocks. You save money, you lower your risk, and when that stock goes back up, you're going to earn more money. So this is a great way to invest. This actually helps you to lower your risk on investments. And for people who are really getting into investment, this helps you to really break through that gap of trying to invest and trying to time the market, because everyone knows you can't time the market, but dollar cost averaging actually helps you to buy more stock at a lower price. Now you're probably asking, so how can I do this dollar cost averaging thing? Well, you can use it in your mutual funds, you can use it in your index funds, and you can also use it with individual stocks. Now, dollar cost averaging is meant to buy the most stocks at the lowest price and the least stocks at the highest price. This is a great way for you not to get into trying to time the market. It kind of does it for you. So hopefully I explained that so you guys to truly understand dollar cost averaging, DCA, because this is a great way for you guys to set a certain amount that you want to invest every month in a particular fund. Now, you know, I'm really leaning towards index funds because they're not actively managed like mutual funds. Mutual funds, if you do your research or you refer to some of my videos, I talk about how mutual funds have a lot of hidden fees and interest rates that those brokers who are actually managing your fund are taking away from your IRAs and your mutual funds, which are kind of the same thing depending on what type of mutual fund you have. They're taking these percentages out. They say, oh, it's only 1%, oh, brokerage fee, transfer fee. They just have all these particular different types of fees, and all of them may be named differently, but you have to understand they keep mix and matching stocks in your mutual funds, and every time they move stocks around to try to build you this perfect portfolio, you're getting charged, all right? And also you're being taxed. That's the other thing, you're being taxed on these mutual funds. Whereas those index funds, they're not actively managed. They're called passive funds, okay? They sit there, they pick really good stocks and they leave them and they accumulate money slowly over time, okay? And I always tell people slow is the way to go, especially when you diversify, because if you got your index funds going, then you start getting into individual stocks. This is a great way to diversify your investment portfolios. And if you refer to this video right here that I briefly talk about peer-to-peer loaning, which is another great investment idea for you to diversify, all these will help your financial management on your road to wealth. And wealth is basically, in my opinion, your own definition of where you want to be so you can live comfortably in the near future or in your retirement. So take a look at dollar cost averaging and see if your brokerage firm, wherever you invest your money at, actually have that option in order for you to do that. Because once again, you set a certain amount every month to a particular fund, whether it be mutual fund or index funds or individual stocks, that they're going to buy the most at the lowest price and the least at the highest price. So give DCA a chance. This is Ross World. My money makes money. I'm out.